You okay? Bert?
I feel I was denied critical, need-to-know information.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Local Prepper Project. Yeah, today we're going to be talking about 5 psychological challenges that commonly show up amongst experienced long-term preppers, you know, people that have been actively preparing for disasters or societal collapse for years. This information is drawn from clinical observations, from forum discussions, and psychological literature on highly uncertainty subcultures. So basically, if people are prepping, then they're going to be experiencing this over years. Before we get into that, I want to thank Refuge Medical for letting me sell their stuff, to shill it to you, because it's really easy to do. Let's see, it's American source products put together by Americans, in America, for Americans. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple when you think about it. If you're going to spend money, especially this year, and you want to give you want to give a gift that could actually save someone's life, please ponder, contemplate, think about the best medical supplies on the planet from Refuge Medical. There's a link in the description. It doesn't say Refuge Medical. It says save some money, and you'll find the links there. Be adults, spend your money appropriately. All right, let's get into this. The first thing, hypervigilance and chronic anxiety, sometimes involved or evolving into generalized anxiety disorder. This actually does happen for long-term preppers. Now, years of consistent scanning for the next threat, and keeps your amygdala in overdrive. Many preppers report never fully relaxing. They're basically in a constant what if, rumination or mental simulation. Psychological symptoms can occur, like racing heartbeat or insomnia, and physical symptoms. Some describe it as like waiting for the other shoe to drop. And this happens even when nothing is going wrong. So please be aware. The second thing is paranoia / mistrust of institutions and even people. Kind of like it's almost like a subclinical or full-blown paranoia traits that the person will actually project into the world, and long-term immersion in collapse narrative or in collapse narratives often leads to deep conviction that the governments, corporations, and even neighbors can't be trusted. So this can actually progress from healthy skepticism to social isolation, kind of trying really hard to live the gray man lifestyle. It's kind of an obsession and taking to extremes or outright persecutory benefits. They're coming for the supplies. That mentality that we have to watch out for, because if we don't, then we're going to start seeing bad guys everywhere. We'll see bad guys where there are no bad guys. And these are the things that we need to be paying attention to. The next one is catastrophizing. It's a big word. And cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions. You're like using your brain to make things see as if they really aren't the way they are. Now, experienced preppers frequently overestimate both the likelihood and the severity of disasters. This kind of black and white thinking, it's either total collapse or it's nothing. And fortune telling by saying things like the dollar will be worthless in 2026. And, it kind of becomes ingrained into your mental habits that it's really hard to turn off. So, a little bit of self-reflection here, a little bit of self-introspection, and hopefully you have not fallen into this trap. The fourth thing is prepper burnout. This happens so often, and it's also categorized as ad hominem. It's a crazy word to say. Basically, after a decade or more of stockpiling, training, and spending disposable income on gear, many hit a wall. The precedent never arrives. The situation never happens. Family life suffers. Finances are drained. Your normal pleasures start feeling meaningless. And this can look like low-grade depression with, a specific flavor of, for instance, why enjoy a vacation when I should be buying another 1,000 rounds? People say that kind of stuff all the time. Pay attention. It happens. Number 5, identity fusion and zealotry. And these are big words. I'm sorry, these are big words. But when you get into these books, you start to use the big words. And this is very similar to religious or political extremism. Prepping can become the core personal identity. And there are some out there that will say that I'm a prepper above all else. I'm a prepper, nothing more. Not a father, not a son, not a family member, not a member of the church or the flock, not a member of a community organization. I'm a prepper. And there are people out there that actually think that way. This leads to what they call in-group / out-group thinking, basically contempt for sheeple. We all know who those people are, and some of us hate them more than others. In extreme cases, the desire for collapse or, just the need to validate years of effort and sacrifice. It's basically a phenomenon that we see in the prepper community, kind of like doomer porn, okay? Or, collapse accelerationism. Now, I think the key thing to remember here is that these issues don't affect every prepper. Many psychologically healthy, but there are disproportionate reports that there's a subset who have been deeply involved for 10 plus years. The longer someone stays in a high threat mindset, community without the predicted disaster actually materializing is actually at a higher risk. So, what I basically just told you was you might want to take a look at yourself. If you don't like what you see, or you're spending more time with your preps than you are with your family, then you're gonna need to reassess your life. That's just the God's honest truth right there. All right, guys, that's going to be about it. As usual, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. Also, there might be some videos popping up over here. Make sure that you watch those. They're not bad. They're not bad. And until the next time, stay vigilant. Bye-bye.